Shut up and sit down.
Welcome to the Bricks King podcast, where I'm going to bend your ear about Lego, review those amazing bricks of plastic, and discuss what is new and up and coming around the Lego world. I'm your minifig host, Matt. Let's build on it. Welcome in, everybody. Hopefully you are doing quite well, enjoying the holiday season. And today we have another exit interview for Lego Master Season 3 US. This time we have Dave and Emily, and I was privy enough to be able to take part in this in my schedule. So Dave and Emily, you're going to find out, are quite the duo and they're quite fascinating to talk to. So let's go ahead and jump into the interview, and I hope you guys enjoy it.
Hey, Dave and Emily, so excited to be talking to you both. Obviously, what a great run you had on the show. The first thing I had to remark on was just your really fun brother-sister dynamic. It was just so fun to watch on the show. One of my favorite things from the episode last night was you talking about how you're both sweaty. But any other fun moments or things that we didn't get to see on the show just about that brotherly, sisterly dynamic that you want everyone at home to know about?
I don't know. I feel like you got a really good impression of how we are. That's just us.
Yeah, we don't hold back a lot. We we bicker a lot. We fight a lot. We play fight a lot. But then we also we drop it. Like, we don't let that stuff stay with us if we're arguing or disagreeing about something like that. Especially like if we're disagreeing about a build, we disagree. But then when we were going for lunch or going back to the hotel in the evening, we'd be best friends again.
But even while building, we would do that. I'd be like, David, stop doing that. That looks terrible. This is stupid. And he'd be like, no, this is the right way to do it. It's so good. And I'd be like, look at this. And he's like, wow, that's great. And it's like that quick. And
sometimes
like, we'll have a
she would
conversation.
you'd have to actually build it to show me and convince me, because I had an idea in my mind and then I didn't believe you. There was one time on the treehouse build where we were, I don't know what it was, but I don't know how serious you were, but you said, I'm not talking to you. And I'm like, to the table next to us, Greg, can you tell my sister to go to the brick pit and get these? And
we
then
just
we would
stop talking to each other for like a couple hours, I think. And we would talk, like the Stevens were across from us. Then I'd be like, Steven, tell David that I need whatever bricks. And then he would go get them. And then heuld be like, Greg, tell my sister she's doing this wrong. Oh God, we involved the whole group in our
But it was good fun,
crazy
honestly.
sibling dynamics.
Yes, absolutely. I'm one of three brothers,
Oh my
so
God.
I definitely know what that's like. Your final build was just so cool and wacky, and I just want to get a sense from you, like, what did we not get to see about that build, and maybe more specifically, when did centipedes enter the picture?
No, first of all, we do not remember why we did centipedes. We wanted to do a monster, and I remember a previous idea was to do a giant spider attacking the city, and then to use the little Lego spiders as well.
I love those spiders.
But then I think a previous contestant in a previous season had spiders attacking a city. I think it was Flynn and Richard from season 1.
Flynn and Richard in season 1, when they had the twist and they had to have their city under attack. But like, did you bring that up, or did Jamie bring that up to us?
No, I brought it up and we pivoted away from spiders. And I don't know why we wanted to do centipedes. It was just,
we had to have.
Why not?
No, we were going to do this like awesome city. And I think the Brickmasters, when we first pitched our idea, they said it needs like a story. Like, it can't just be a city to be a city. There has to be some catastrophic event that's going on. And we're like, okay, well, let's do it under attack. And I completely forgot that was the twist in season 1 until I rewatched it recently.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. But what didn't you see? I don't know how much you got to see the great, blue gradient mosaic on the back of the tallest building. I was really impressed with that. Inside the subway, that there was lights flickering and a centipede attacking down the subway entrance and through the tunnel.
The whole story of the build really came to life the closer you got. So like the centipede things were all like coming out from the subway. That's why it was there, but they were also like breaking through the ground in the middle of the street. All of our buildings, like, it was a city. So like the first level would be like shops, and the shops had like mannequins with like sale prices going on. And there was like a cafe with like a whole thing going on behind it. And I feel like on the show, you didn't get to zoom in enough to see all that. But
you didn't even see the cafe, because it was on like if you're looking at it, it was on the left side. So we had story going 360 degrees around that thing.
Out of the 3 final builds are really like, you could stand at any angle and see the whole story. Just, it was really a full 360 build.
Sure, if you say so.
I do.
Our build, yes.
Also, what you don't see is David's, which has now been coined the lettuce lattice that he used for the Technic-free castle tower. He used that in that giant building with the big mosaic on the side. So that's something that I don't think we see featured, but it's a cool technique, David, that I really like the name of that. I hope that catches on.
Us too. Well, my last question is, at the end you say this has been like the most amazing experience, and that you went on to say, Dave, that it was exhausting in a good way. So I just wanted to get a sense from you, what are your takeaways from this fun and exhausting experience? And did you actually go home and build Lego as you so said on the show?
I have built a lot of Lego since being home from the show. And, sometimes as a Lego fan, as a Lego builder, you go through ebbs and flows of your desire to actually get the bricks in your hands and stick bricks together over, when you do this over decades. But being on the show and building Lego intensely for 149 hours, it really reinvigorated my desire to have time to build Lego. And, you don't always, when you've got a job and kids and everything else that goes on in life. But when I've found pockets of time, I've spent a lot of time working on stuff. None of those projects that I've been working on have actually come to fruition. So maybe one day you'll see some new things from me, but not in the immediate future. Exhausting in a good way, just because it was exhausting because we got to, for however many weeks, we got to just sit there and focus on just building Lego, not doing any of the other responsibilities in the world in your life. We just got to play Lego, and that was awesome. And it was definitely exhausting, but also to build Lego with friends, new friends, sure, but the people that for that time and now are our best friends. It was I don't know, however many weeks long slumber party of
like summer
Legos.
camp, like when you go to sleep
summer camp
when you're a kid, but we're in our 30s.
Yeah.
Anything to add, Emily?
Well, I definitely went home and built a lot of Lego. I know for all summer, David was he's trying to thin out his I want to say collection, but we'll call it a hoard of Lego. So every now and then the Lego fairy will come and drop sets off at my house. I got home the other day and this one was here, which I'm pretty excited about. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but that's my next project. But I've always been more of a set builder, but I was really inspired after the show to come up with mocks, and I've got ideas upon ideas. And one day when I get a little more organized with my Lego, I'll probably.
She's never going to get more organized because I'm thinning out some of my collection and just whenever I go over there, I dump more bricks.
The Lego fairy just dumps me these awesome sets that I get to build. So.
Well, I would like a Lego fairy like that too, but really a pleasure getting to talk to you both, and hopefully I'll get a chance to talk to you more in depth soon.
Thanks, Michael.
Wonderful. So I am so excited that there are finally Canadians on Lego Masters. Not only that, you guys made it all the way to the finale. So you represented us Canadians really, really well. I've got two sets of questions for you today because I've got my own for True North Bricks, and Megan from Brickset couldn't be here. So I've got Brickset's questions as well to ask you. So my first question has to do with some of your builds. So I know my favorite build was your last one last night. That one was amazing, so inspirational for so many city builders, because there's so many of us out there who love to build Lego cities, and your super tall skyscrapers in the background looked great. But I'm wondering, what was your favorite build from the season and why?
I know I had a favorite run of builds, and it was the 4 episodes kind of in the middle, I think. Pirate Ship, Summer Camp, Golf, and Castle. Those 4. I don't know which was maybe those are my favorites. I don't know exactly which one was my favorite of those 4. But I think that chunk of filming was a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. And I think those challenges were I didn't feel a lot of pressure with those. I just felt a lot of fun. Emily?
My favorite build, I think, was our Marvel build, but I didn't like the challenge. We were all super stressed.
Yeah.
We were all in terrible moods the whole time. Our first team that we were super close with, the Docs, we were close with since day one, and they got eliminated last. So it was kind of weird to be in the build room without them. I love the build that we completed, though. I think it's gorgeous. It was identical to the pictures. I think we did such a good job on that. But my favorite challenge, obviously, was the dogs.
Obviously.
I don't think that's a secret.
So I get asked a question often on the blog from adults who are either just getting back into Lego after a dark age, or they are just starting out as aspiring Lego builders. So if you had advice to give to them, what would that be?
I would say connect, if you can, connect with people. Whether that is from going to a convention or from joining a lug, or just, I don't even know how you like, if you're in any of those like Lego Canada Facebook groups or something like that, message and see if there's people in your area who are into Lego. And I say that for a few reasons. One is it's someone just to share your passion with. Two, it's someone that you can build collaboratively with and trade and lend bricks, whatever you need to do. But three, people share deals.
Yeah.
So if you find out there's a deal on Lego at this store or that store, that's a good way to build up your collection. You know, you find out, oh, Walmart's got Lego on discount, or Superstore's got stacking points and discounts or whatever. Go up and buy all that Lego so you can add it to your collection, so you can just have more bricks to build with.
But not just sharing deals, like you share ideas. Like
Oh, sure,
a lot of what wasn't captured on camera for us is we bounced ideas, especially off of the Stevens, I think the most.
Yep.
Like, hey, I want to do this way. Like one of the builds sometimes when me and David weren't talking, or I know in the final build near the beginning, I was working on something and David was so focused. He was like, yeah, it looks good, but wasn't paying attention. I was like, Steven, get over here and give me your opinion. And he came by and like, you know, we kind of brainstormed it together and worked on our.
And even Nick and I bounced a lot of ideas.
Yeah, you and Nick did that a lot.
Like the entire series, going back to the first episode.
And I did that a lot.
Yeah.
But like you just, even if it's your idea and you have something that you think is crazy and you're not really sure how to do it, like someone else's brain might just see that idea better. So it's good to have like a support group. Join a lug. That's the best advice.
Join a lug if you can. Yeah.
Whatever it is, join a lug.
Awesome. So, in my opinion, you guys were the most visibly Canadian team out of the Canadian.
Oh, you don't say.
So, how much did your Canadian identity factor into your, I guess, planning and execution of your Lego Masters experience?
Well, the whole experience, like we were kind of branded as like the Canadians or the Canadian siblings. So it was kind of like our bit getting on there, right? And, you know, early on, I chugged maple syrup with Will in the second episode. Did we stick maple leaves in there? Like we had maple syrup, the theme on our spaceship. Like the race, the NASCAR, it was red and white themed, like 1867 themed. It was very Canadian right there.
I don't think we did more.
We didn't do a ton. It kind of like we were the Canadian team a bit more towards the beginning, and even though we were still wearing red and white with maple leaves right up until the final episode, we just ended up being that kooky sibling couple towards the end. Like,
all right, so I'm going to switch hats here a little bit. So these are the questions that come from Brickset. So they would like to know, because we only see a small portion of what you guys actually produce on the show. We see what you've built for maybe 3 to 5 seconds or something like that. So what are some of the details that we might not have seen in your builds that you are most proud of?
All of the builds or the final build specifically?
Any build.
Well, my answer is the Brussels Scouts.
The Brussels Scouts and the pirate ship.
The pirate ship, we had Brussels Scouts
details.
training at the back.
Or even the rabbits attacking and eating the front of the pirate
that
ship.
was totally glossed over.
Yeah.
So they had rabid rabbits attacking the front of the ship, eating the front of the ship was the pirate ship. But there were so many fine details that made the whole story come together. Like I remember at the judging, like we had some guy puking over the edge because he was seasick, and Amy, I remember at judging, she kind of criticized us for it. She's like, oh, it would have been good if this guy was puking over the edge because, the veggies are so disgusting and he needs the dressing for the veggies and that's why he's sick. And Jamie's like, well, it was like a lot of that conversation that
both of them missed details that the other one caught and corrected them for when they were criticizing our build in judging.
Yeah, like the pirate ship was, the hull was eggplant, and Jamie said, make sure it's not just a purple pirate ship. And she's like, no, there's a zucchini stump on the end of it.
It was the eggplant stem. Yeah.
On
the end of it, and he didn't see that. But also again, like going forward, the castle, there were so many stories on the tiers, the tops of the castle, whatever, of like plants and every animal that we had on set. Like from the far shots, you can see horses on top of the castle, because in that forest haven, the forest maiden was bringing all the animals and all the plants from the castle in, and none of that was featured really.
The spaceships, one of the criteria for the first challenge was that it had to open and the build had to tell your story. So when you opened our pirate ships, they both open. Our spaceship interiors both opened, and one had like our family story on it, and the other side was like a full hockey rink with a Zamboni and everything. We never saw that.
Yeah. It's funny, so much as it comes back to the classic Lego theme: space, pirates, castle. Like those are some great builds with great details and great stories in them.
Yeah.
So what was the most challenging aspect of building on the Lego Masters set compared to building at home?
I have an answer for that one. I'm gonna jump right in. Wearing a shirt. Honestly, like I normally build at home in like basketball shorts and that's it. I'm quite hairy. You can see part of that here. So like I'm always wearing a natural sweater. But in my own build room, I've lived in this house for 6 years and I've never turned the heat on in that room because when you're there working for hours on end, it gets warm. And I'll strip right down to shorts. I'll have pants on, but no shirt. Well,
I would say comfort for sure is a big one because as the opposite, I like to be bundled in a blanket and in like sweater and sweatpants, and we had to be like on stage. And in the mornings, it was freezing on set, and it's hard to get your creative juices flowing when you're shivering. And then in the afternoons, it was like stifling.
Yeah, it got really warm in there. Yeah. The lights finally heated up.
Whatever. But going back to David without the shirt on, I think during the first build at the end of the day, I phoned our mom and I was like on FaceTime, I'm like, Mom, David's not wearing a shirt and we're like in public around people. Like, can you do something about this? She's like, he doesn't wear shirts. Like, what's your problem? She totally had his back. She's like, grow up, Emily. David's not going to wear a shirt. I was like, thanks, Mom. There's like professional people here.
Like, and then there's other little challenges. Like I'm used to how I sort my bricks and knowing what I have in my collection. So like getting to know the brick pit was a challenge for the first couple of weeks. And then once we sorted that out, it became easier. Yeah. Or
the limitations of the brick pit, because not everything's in there.
Yeah, it can't be. Or maybe it's there and you just don't know where it is.
Well, maybe. Other challenges. I mean, time's the big one. Like you have to create basically a commissioned piece. Like, here's what we want you to do with your creativity, but do it in these time constraints, which I mean, that's like you have to come up with it'd be better if they like told us the idea beforehand and we could go home and come up with an idea and then go back and build it.
That'd be cool.
So the last question from Brickset then is, are there any, or what was your most memorable interaction with either Amy, Jamie, or Will that either did or did not make the final cut of an episode?
Oh, Emily, you know what it is with Will. Like, I thought did you just yawn right there? Are you covering your mouth laughing?
No, I was thinking, you mean at the end?
At the end, the last episode.
So building our final build, I think there's a little clip of it. I'm actually sitting on the build for a lot of it to try to reach up to those tall peaks of the towers or building the houses around, or buildings around. And Will came over and he was a lot funnier in the last couple challenges, but it was almost like he was getting cabin fever. Like we were like, well, are you okay? Like you're funnier and it's funny for us to watch, but like you're never off. He came in and, the camera crew's all around and he walks in and he steps into the shot with us and he's like, oh, Emily, here, I see you're finally building something to scale. Which one of these apartment complexes is yours? He just always makes fun of me for being short. And then he stepped out and like reset and like, bantered with us a little bit kind of off camera. And then he was like, okay, we're gonna do it for real now. And he'd come in and he'd say the same line again. Oh, Emily, I see you finally built something to scale. Which one of these units is yours? He did it 5 times. And it was the second time it was funny. The third time it was ridiculous. And after the fourth time, we're like laughing so hard. Like I was in pain, like my stomach hurt. I had like tears coming down my face. I just couldn't stop laughing at the situation. And I'm like, stop, like go away. We're trying to build. It was so funny, but it was like so much.
It was hilarious. And it was like, yeah, get out of here, Will. In a previous episode, I guess my favorite interaction that didn't air would have been doing the NASCAR episode. Well, Will is driving around the track, FaceTiming people. The only celebrity that picked up was Sean Hayes.
He tried to call so many people and no one
answered taking his calls. So he stops at one point and he says, hey guys, who should I call next? And I just jokingly said, oh, call my wife. And I guess a producer said in his ear, yeah, do it. So he's like, yeah, what's the number? So he calls my wife and she's at work and
also it's an unknown number. Why would you answer?
Yeah, well I'm not going to pick up this. Yeah. And then he texts her. So like, hi, Stephanie. It's hi, Stephanie. I'm at Lego Masters. I'm here with your husband. Please pick up the phone. And so she picks up FaceTime and there's Will Arnett talking to her. And then he drove around the track a few times talking to her.
Yeah.
And it's like, hi babe, I love you, but I gotta get back to building.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's it for my and for Brickset's questions. So thanks so much for your time. And again, congratulations on making it so far. You guys really did us Canadians proud.
Great, thanks.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Joy. And hi, Emily. Hi, David. Good to see you again.
Hey.
I'm here representing Brickanista Broadcast Network, and Remy sends his regards as well. And first of all, I just wanted to mention that it was just so much fun seeing the interaction between the two of you as siblings. And just also your builds were really sharp and clean and just really creative. And I'm also going to go ahead and start talking about the lettuce lattice, which I think is a great idea. Also, just as a side note too, it was really great to see two women as part of two different teams in the finale. So great representation there. My first question is with regard to your inspiration. We noticed that a lot of the themes that came through in your builds had to do with your family and just your culture. And it was really great to see some of that. So I was just curious about what other forms of inspiration help with forming your builds.
I'm gonna be honest, I kind of hate this question, not that the fact that you're asking it, but like the fact that you have to put sometimes story behind or inspiration behind builds, because I find inspiration in everything.
Everywhere, yeah.
Yeah, right. And like I'm often limited just by time in all the things that I can build, both on the show or in real life. There's just not enough, free hours in a day, days in the week, whatever it is. Because I just want to build everything.
I know as an inspiration for the style of building, I don't want to speak for David, but I think he'll agree with me that like Jamie Berard is inspirational. Like the sets that he designed, that whole the modular series, like when it came out, us as adults getting like back into Lego after our dark teenagers, especially David.
Yeah.
Like the modular series really inspired like our whole style of building. And I think that's why we went with the city for the final build, because we really wanted to feature like our interests and our styles.
Yeah. But realistically, like I build my own creations. I do build a lot of city buildings based on real buildings that I like the architecture of. I build a lot of landscape based on things that I see or things that for some reason I just dream up out of nowhere. And often I'll be like at night and it's like I have an idea in my head. I'm trying to sleep and it's like, okay, no, I gotta get this idea out of my head. Gotta get it, either write it down or draw it or start actually like putting bricks together and like sketched out with bricks. And sometimes I don't know where the ideas come from. It's just everywhere in the world. There's inspiration.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
We both like to travel. Like you'll see some crazy building when you're somewhere and be like, I could do that.
But I can on my phone of architecture in foreign cities all the time. It's like, oh, I like that. Like I like that window frame or that balcony, that archway, and just store it in my mind for something later on.
Those are great tips. And it sounds like city is what you really love. And that came out in your last build too.
Yeah.
That's great. So I had a different kind of question with regard to the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which you did an amazing job on that scene.
Thank you.
So if you were to pick a DC universe scene from a DC movie or comic book or what have you, what scene would you choose from the DC universe? Justice League.
Wonder Woman.
Yeah, two come to mind. And one of them for me is Themyscira in Wonder Woman. That would be amazing. It's so bright and colorful. And like the characters are some of the most exciting looking characters, like the Themyscirans and Diana when they're there, as opposed to a lot of DC movies that are like dark and gritty, which I don't think translate as well. But the internet is going to hate me for this. It would be super fun to do a take on like Ryan Reynolds' Green Lantern. Yeah, I know, right? But no, but like that weird animation style, of like the CG and everything, it didn't make the best movie. I think it might actually translate better into bricks. Get to use a lot of
that's reasonable.
Bright green and green colors. I think it might actually look cool. Can I think of a particular scene? Not at all. Just like the themes from that movie would be cool. Although, Themyscira from the first Wonder Woman movie would be my first pick. Yeah,
that's exactly what I was thinking.
All right, awesome. And my last question is, what do you think are the top 3 factors that make a successful Lego master?
Creativity. You have to have a
creativity.
imagination. You need to have a crazy imagination.
Yep. stamina, I would say, or like stamina, endurance, because those builds get long, the schedule gets long.
Yeah.
And separate from creativity, I think just having an open mind. I think that's important to everything in life, especially with whatever weirdness they're going to throw at you in Lego Masters. To be open minded.
You need to have a really good team dynamic.
Oh yeah, that too. Yeah.
Because like I think a lot which I'm gonna go with the final six, a lot which benefited the final six teams is that a lot of one person on most of the teams was a little bit ignorant to the limitations of Lego. And we noticed that a lot, especially with the final three, but it's like, well, why can't we just do this? I would say it a lot. I know Crash would say it a lot, like, why don't we just do this? And David and Yo-Yo would be like, you can't do that with Lego. That's not a thing. It's like, well, why not? Let's just do it. And sometimes it worked out great. And other times if it didn't work out, it would kind of push you to try something different. And it sort of brought that like innovative mind out of like the more experienced builder.
Yeah, that's fair.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your time. And I just reserved my brick can reservation. So I hope to see you there. It'll be great to see you again in Canada. And thank you for just bringing such a great fun to the show. It's great seeing you both. Thank you.
Good to see you again.
Oh, wait, I want to show you something.
Oh,
What? I don't know what this is.
Say hi.
oh yay. For those of you who don't know, I saw Emily and David when they came to visit Seattle, and I brought my dog. So it was great.
Emily just has Harlow off screen at all times.
Harlow. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
either on my lap or over there. Yeah.
Thanks for sharing.
David, Emily, glad to be here with you guys. You are a very vibrant pairing. It didn't come across like that in the show, but I
Never.
I am really enjoying it. Just listening to the questions ahead of time. You guys, unfortunately, didn't win. You had the Canadian lockout on the podium, which was really cool. So you guys, as the season progressed, just were blowing people out of the water. I mean, there were so many times you could have been chosen as the winner of the challenges, but you guys started kind of at that tipping point of we could be going home, and then you just kind of exploded from there. So what was something that really propelled you to step up that game?
I think being a little crazier with our imagination. And like that didn't really start until after Dogs. What was that? Is that Emily?
Treehouses.
Well, like it started a little bit with Treehouses, but even then I don't think that was too crazy doing like the candy treehouse. Because like I think we scraped that idea.
No, you're right. If that one was later, we could have done a completely different crazy job. We didn't really start understanding the judges' feedback until after that challenge, I feel like.
Yeah. What was after Dogs?
Yeah. It took us the first three challenges to really understand the brick pit and the parameters of the challenges. And I would say by the Dogs, which was the fifth episode, we really could understand the judges' feedback and what like the read between the lines kind of things were with them. So that I know for pirate ships, we really like clued into it right away. Like, okay, this is what they mean. This is what they want to see. This is what we got to give them.
And I know one of the things with pirate ships too, not just all of those ideas. I remember coming into that one thing and like, okay, let's just have fun. Like, let's just have fun with this, and we'll see where it goes. We were trying really hard the first three. We were in the bottom two after the brick and rodeo, and it's like, okay, we're playing with house money now. Like, we could have gone home. We got nothing to lose now, so let's just keep having fun. And I think it showed.
Yeah, it really did. You guys mentioned kind of letting it loose, and you could definitely see that. One of my favorite builds that you guys did was, I'm probably not going to say it right, the Revengetables.
Yeah.
I loved that build. That was so neat. There was a whole lot going on there. What about that build for you guys was your favorite part of it?
Emily?
The puns.
Yeah. I would agree with that, but in a bigger way, that we brought every aspect of that together on theme. Like, it was supposed to be a story-driven challenge. It was a story-driven challenge, and I think we had every angle of that from any way you looked at it, just whatever. We had it all like on lock, and the puns really drove that all home. But every aspect of that pirate ship was a vegetable, and we had like so many puns. Like, you didn't even see the asparagus cannons, or they didn't talk about the celery mast.
They completely glossed over the rabbits.
And then even like the hold was full of crates of vegetables.
Yeah, so when it exploded, I was actually really disappointed with the footage of our explosion because it went from underneath, but it was full of little teeny tiny crates and like tiny brick built vegetables.
Loose. Yeah.
And it would have looked awesome from the top because when you saw it from our view, it was like confetti.
Yeah.
I mean, those things blew up so fast and so loud. We kind of missed. I remember the Stevens blew up first, and we were all like, "Wait, what?"
Yeah. Like in real time, you could not see the explosions. They had to show them to us in super slow-mo in studio, but like they vaporized those ships. It was awesome. But every one build I would have liked to take home, it would have been the pirate ship. But
I know.
But knowing that we couldn't bring it home, I'm so glad we blew it up.
Yes. Yeah. After that one, we're like, let's blow everything up. We don't get to take any of the Lego home.
I was so disappointed that like our mini golf hole. I really wanted Will to smash that house with a golf club.
He was walking around with a golf club like a baseball bat for like the whole latter half of that challenge. I am surprised nothing got broken that
It's
day.
one of my regrets from the show that I didn't ask him to smash it. Or ask a producer, like, can we get Will to smash this? It would be so good.
But like David said, like the vegetables, like every tiny detail, every single specific tiny detail of that pirate ship, there was a lot of them, and they were all intentional. Like they were all like, okay, well, this is a tiny roasted red pepper skin, and we're going to put it over here, and it's going to mean this.
Yep.
And everything had a pun to it as well. So like there was, you heard the presentation that we gave, and then I think there was some voiceover of us rereading it to the producer in our confessionals that was recorded. I don't know why this is making so much noise. There was a ton more than what we heard. Like it went on for a while. At the end of it, Will just like kind of puts his hand on the edge of the trough that our ships were in, and he's like, I think I gotta take a knee. His joke writer was standing over my shoulder. I couldn't see it, but he's holding his whiteboard that he would write like tips for Will to make jokes, and he's just like,
he would write something and then wipe it out with his arm because he would say it later. It was good.
There was so much.
Awesome. Well, it sounds like you guys had a lot of good banter with Will on the show. Last question I have for you guys: the tons of challenges that you did. If you were able to do one build that really went to your strengths, you got to design a challenge, what would it be?
Oh man, I was just thinking about it the other day too.
Maybe like based on some of the builds that we did, it would have been nice to do an actual city themed build. Other seasons got to do them, and even us doing the classic Lego themes. We did Space Castle Pirates. We didn't do Town or Town and Train or whatever it is. We did in our finals build.
But no one else. Like it wasn't a theme.
Yeah. And like I would have liked to have seen a skyscraper challenge. Maybe just because I'm into building skyscrapers right now. And not necessarily to be like the tallest, but I would have liked to see very early, like even when there was 12 of us, to see 12 different skyscrapers, what all the different teams did. Like imagine all the different creativity that went into the spaceships, if that had gone into skyscrapers, that would have been so cool.
I recently rewatched season 1, and I think, I don't know, watching all the other seasons of all the other series countries, I think there's like tons that I would like to do. We didn't get any where it's like, okay, either your challenge is done or it's almost done, and guess what, you get X more hours to do all this. We never got any of that. So I'd like to have like an add-on challenge.
Oh, I would have not loved that.
I think in the moment I wouldn't have loved it, but when I rewatched season 1, I was like, oh, we didn't get to, we got a lot of like twists, but we didn't get any like mid challenge that were like a full left turn kind of thing. Like when they had the dogs, remember? And Stacey's like, oh my God, we're switching dogs. And then it was like a snuggle.
Yeah.
I
was ready for doing like wearable Lego, and we never had to do anything wearable. Lego clothing. I don't know what else. It would have been also cool to, for some reason, to see something monochrome. Like it might not have played so well on TV, but it would have been interesting. Like, okay, you build all red, you build all blue, wherever it is. They did that in the New Zealand show.
That would have been amazing. Oh, I know what it was. I was just talking to someone else about this. The one challenge that I wish we did that I have never seen on, I don't know if the other countries have done it, but I haven't seen on any of US season, is a mosaics. They've never done any mosaics. We did like a mural ombre mosaic thing on one of our towers, but I've never seen like self-portrait mosaics or like a picture of something where you have to use like dots, and that'd be a mean challenge, but it'd be good.
It would be mean. Then you go next level and do it lenticular. So it's two different things from different angles.
Yeah, those are crazy. I love those.
Well, I appreciate you guys time and everything like that. I'm sad that you guys didn't win. Hopefully I get an opportunity. I'm down here in Dallas, Texas, but hopefully I have an opportunity to get out to Seattle and whatever that show is up there and run into you guys in the future.
Well, that's going to wrap up this episode of Lego Masters Exit Interview. We have one left after this, believe it or not. But Dave and Emily, they were an incredible duo to talk to. I had so much fun chatting with them. Dave was the most chill dude. He was just laying back because this is a Zoom call. So he's just chilling back. Dude doesn't have, I don't think he had a shirt on this time. And, I don't ever wear shirts and stuff like that. Anyway, most chill guy you could probably talk to. And I'll tell you what, I saw more personality as the season went on, but my God, there was so much more personality in this call. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. I had a blast with it. Hopefully you learned something new, maybe a different appreciation for people on Lego Masters, or just in general, you just had a good time hearing their story. So that's going to wrap it up. Until we meet again, I'm your Minifigure host, Matt. Let's build on it.